Kind of a long, tough season, Nigel.
Yeah, it's been hard. We've learned a lot about ourselves. It's been unfortunate, really, that we fall on the wrong side of several results in the Madlands League. But it goes to show how competitive it is, and it goes to show that we really need to raise our standards for next year and make sure that those narrow losses turn into wins, and that makes all the difference. We weren't able to do that this year, and we're disappointed that that was the case. But I think we've learned a lot from this year. We've certainly gained a lot more experience with the fair group of the players that we've got within the squad, and I'd like to think that we're going to be far more competitive next year.
And of course, Glasgow's still got a home draw to play for in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a very important game for Glasgow. A home draw in the playoffs, it would be massive for them. So they'll come down here, they'll be confident, and rightly so. They've had some good results against us in the recent past. But we've got lots of points to prove.
Have you had any news with your captain, Mark? In terms of, you said he was going to see a surgeon beginning of May. Is there any?
Yeah, it's mid-May really that we'll probably know something about him. Yeah. Well then, as soon as we do, we'll let you know. And I think Mark is as frustrated as anybody at the moment.
You mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Nigel, when you were announcing about the coaching team. Are you still looking at that in terms of your coaching structure for next season?
Sorry,
your coaching structure for next season. Yeah. You said a couple of weeks ago that you were fine.
Yeah, there'll obviously be some changes at the end of the season, but I think what's important right now is that we just focus on finishing this season. Nothing's going to change between now and Friday, so the priority for us is this game. After that, we'll probably start getting some announcements next week in terms of changes.
In terms of Simon Easterby, obviously he hasn't played since the turn of the year. No. He just spoke at the start of the year, potentially calling it a day at the end of the season. Has Simon spoken to you about that?
Yes, we've spoken at length on that, and Simon's done a great job, really, in his first term as a player coach. And you have to remember that he did play in the early part of the season quite a considerable amount of games. But I think one of the positives of his injury is that he's been able to focus fully on his coaching role, and he's done a great job for us. And I'm sure moving forward, Simon will become a great coach as he was a player. So yeah, we've discussed those things, and that will probably be part of the package and the announcements for next week.
Right, okay. In terms of Simon as well, and in his absence, like Sir Robin Cusker, Josh Turnbull, have you been happy with the way that they've come through?
Yeah, very happy. Yeah, Rob is somebody who's been here for a long time. Hasn't really had many opportunities, but because of Simon's injury, he was able to get those chances. And as I say, I think it's a problem that we have in Wales, is giving opportunities to players of that quality. But it only goes to show once they do get a chance, you can see what they're capable of. And I think Rob, Josh, in particular, young boys who've been outstanding for us this year.
Can they push for higher honours?
Oh, undoubtedly. I think both of them are. It's up to them really. They can push the bar as far as they want to. I think they're both capable. I think physically they can compete at any level, and they've shown that this year. They've certainly matured in that respect, and we've seen them compete against some of the top back rowers in world rugby. They're learning all the time. They're eager. They're totally committed. And they belong to all those qualities that top players need, and it's up to them how far they want to push it. It'll be interesting to see how far they can go.
You could benchmark for them this weekend as well, if they're the killer bees of their form.
That'd be a great test for them. It'll be a great test against some very good players, a little bit more experience in them. But I think it's one of the contests that we can all look forward to on Friday. That back row contest, I think, is going to be something quite special.
How much they do from someone like David Lyons to see?
It's invaluable. I think the work that David does with the boys off the park as much as on the park has been superb. I think in certain other areas we miss that seniority and experience and role model really. But certainly in the back row for those young boys, it's great to have someone like David there, and to know that they learned a huge amount from him. And as I've said in the past, I think they'd run through a brick wall for him because they respect him and admire him so much for what he's done for them.
What lessons will the squad take away from this season, Nigel?
Well, they'll take the fact that if you're a percent off your game, you're going to lose matches, particularly in the Magners League. And it is a very competitive league, and we can't afford not to be accurate and precise enough. I think there's been parts of the season where discipline has cost us, our goal kicking has cost us, and generally our accuracy in our play has cost us. And when you come off the back of a season where you've lost 6 or 7 games within 7 points, it says it all for how important it is to be very accurate and precise. And it's about really working on their skills, particularly some of the younger group, so that they make sure that in the pressure, high intensity pressure of the matches, we get things right, not wrong.
Right, you mentioned the Magners. You've been stressing the fact, the importance of it throughout the season. People might have been more understanding in the past, people have, and in terms of the product developing, in your opinion, has there been a big jump this season?
I think it's been gradually getting there, over the last couple of seasons, but I think this season we've seen that it's very difficult to go away anywhere and win a game of rugby. Connaught have had some great results at home this season. So it's a very, very competitive side, and you just look at the individual countries. Look at Scotland, really split just into the 2 regions, Glasgow and Edinburgh, and so they're always going to be very competitive moving forward. And we know, of course, with the Irish, about Leinster and Munster. You look at Ulster and their recruitment drive this season. They're going to be a real handful next season, and Connaught are evolving and developing all the time. So I really think it's a tremendous league. It offers a lot of things that are different. Because it's cross-border, it adds a little bit of spice to it. And there's a lot of variety in the game as well, and I think it's a real open, quality tournament right now.
If I was asked you to pick one high, one low from the season,
it's got to be the high, I suppose. We'll start with. It's got to be. I would say, in general, our European campaign around 2 games in particular against London Irish. And the low point, probably the 2 games before the Connaught game, the Toulon and the Blues. And I'd have to put them together because it was a period, a very intense period, where as a group we didn't get it right. We let ourselves down and everybody else, and I think up until that point there was people could see that we were going in the right direction, even though we weren't always getting the results that we wanted. But after those 2 games, they sort of changed the outlook that everybody had and where we were. So it was very important. Very quickly we put in a big performance, which we were able to do. But I would have to say those 2 performances probably the low point for me.
Just finding Nigel, the fact that you've got some youngsters like Ken Owens, Reece Priest nominated for this Player of the Year award at the end of the season, I suppose it reflects as well the development of the youngsters. Perhaps they're taking on more responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely, and it shows as well, that they fronted up for us this year, and they are our future. That's not going to change. We're not going to compete with the Toulons and the Toulouses of this world financially. So where we can compete is developing our talent, accelerating their development, and building from within, so that we have something special here at Parker Scarlets. And that's where that's the only way we will ever be able to compete, and we're firmly clear and focused on that.